Hello everyone, welcome to Polyglot Academy. In this video, we are going to continue with the next grammar point in Chinese. So if you are new to this channel, please support us by subscribing to our channel, give a thumbs up to this video and share the video to your friends. So let's get started. So in this video, we are going to look at the character Hui, which means know how to. Hui. Remember in the previous lesson, we saw Hui, which means will. I will do something. That's I will. Hui. But in this grammar point, Hui means know how to. So for a demonstration on how to write Hui, we have which means know how to. Know how to. So, Hui means know how to. 很好,很好. Let's continue. 好,继续. Let's see an example on how to apply the character Hui. So, as an example, 我会写,我会写. So, for demonstration, we are going to have 我会写我会写我会写很好 which means if you want to break this character step by step, then we are going to have 我 which is I, 会 which is know how to, know how to, 写 which is write, to write, write. 我会写 I know how to write. I know how to write. So 我会写我 which is I, 会 which is know how to, and 写 which is write. 很好很好。继续。The next sentence. So we have the next sentence here. 你妈妈会说汉语吗？你妈妈会说汉语吗？ So let's see a brief illustration. 妈妈 which is a repeated character. In Chinese, we often repeat characters to most often characters are repeated to mean the same thing. If we write it ma, it means the same thing, just like papa. Then you say pa, it means the same thing. So mama is just a repeated character to mean mom or to mean mother. Mama. Mama. 会说 So this is 说汉语汉语汉语吗？你妈妈会说汉语吗？你妈妈会说汉语吗？ Which means we can break down the character ni, which means you. So let's get a different color. So ni, which is you. Mama, which is mom. So we can write mom with a different color. Mama, mom. Hui, which is know how to. So we can bring back the color. Know how to. So ni, which is you, mama, which is mom, hui, know how to. Shuo, which is to speak, the character to speak, so to speak. Speak. Hanyu, Hanyu, which means Chinese. Hanyu is Chinese. Hanyu means Chinese. Chinese. Ma, which is a question particle, So we can change that and have a question particle. Question. When we say a question particle, it is that character that indicates that this sentence is a question and not a statement. The sentence is a question. So, ni, which is you, mama, which is a repeated character, which is mom or mother, hui, which is know how to, shuo, which is to speak, Hanyu, which is Chinese, and ma, which is a question word, a question particle. So the translation of Ni mama hui shuo Hanyu ma would be, can your mom speak Chinese? Can your mom speak Chinese? So 很好，很好，继续。The next sentence we are going to have 我会错，我会错，很好。So let's illustrate 我会 we can replace that 我会错 so we can change and have a different color 错我会错 which we can illustrate that as 我 which is I, or you can say me. But in this case, 我 is I. So, 会 which means know how to. So we can put this one in bracket. 我 means I. So, 会 which means know how to. Know how to. Know how to. 错 which is to make or to do. 做 which is to make. 做 to make. 做 to make or to do something. 做我会做我 which is I. 会 which is know how to. And 做 which is to make or to do. 很好. So the translation of 我会做 is I know how to make or I know how to do something. 我会做 I know how to do something. 很好. So our next sentence or next phrase will be 我会做中国菜. So we said our next sentence will be so 我会做中国菜. 很好. For demonstration, we have 我会做我会做中国菜. 我会做中国菜. 我会做中国菜. So we can break down the characters. 我 which means 我 yeah, which means I or me. 会 which means know how to. 会 which means know how to. Know how to. And we have 做 which means to do, to make. That's make. And we have 中国 here means China. Both character 中国 means China. And 菜 中国菜 which means dish. A dish or food. A dish or food. You can put in bracket food. So 我 which is I, 会 which is know how to, 做 which is make, 中国 China, 菜 which is dish or food. So the translation of 我会做中国菜, 我会做中国菜 will be I know how to cook Chinese food. So this is 中国菜 which means Chinese food. So China dish which is Chinese food. So to make Chinese food is to cook Chinese food. So 我会做中国菜 means I know how to cook Chinese food. I know how to cook Chinese food. 很好，很好。好，继续。So the next sentence will be 我会做菜。我会做菜。 So for illustration, we have 我会错，我会错菜，错菜。我会错菜，我会错菜，很好。So 我 this character 我 which means I and 会 so the character 会 means by itself know how to. Know how to. And we have the next character 做 which is to make, to do. And since the character is joined with 菜 which means dish or food, it means to cook. Chinese, to cook food. I know how to cook. So this character will mean dish or food. Dish or food. I know how to cook food, or I know how to cook. 我会做菜. I know how to make a dish, or I know how to cook. So the translation of 我会做菜 means I know how to make a dish, or I know how to cook. 非常好。我会做菜，很好，很好，非常好。好，继续。So we are still on 会。We are still on 会。And 会 here means know how to. 非常好。So for this sentence, we are going to have 我会写汉字，我会写汉字，我会写汉字。So 我会 let's just write with different colors to indicate that 我会写汉字，写汉字。我会写汉字，汉字。我会写汉字，我会写汉字。So we have 我 which is I, 我 which is I, and we have 会 which is know how to, know how to, know how to. And we have 写 which is to write. To write, and 汉字 goes together. 汉字 goes together. 汉字 here goes together, which is 汉字 which means Chinese or Chinese character. Chinese Chinese character. Wo, which is I. Hui, which is know how to. Xie, which is write. Hanzi, Hanzi, Chinese characters. Chinese characters. 很好. So the complete translation of 我会写汉字. 我会写汉字 means I know how to write Chinese characters. 我会写汉字 I know how to write Chinese character. 很好. 好，继续. Now the next point we are going to see is 不会, which means I don't know how to. So for illustration, we have 不会, which means we can change the color. Don't know how to. So don't know how to. So that is it. 不会means don't know how to. So let's take an example. 比如说 means for example. 比如说 for example. We have 我不会读 This is where 我不会读 So for an illustration, we can have 我不会读我不会读 So we have 我 we can translate that 我 which means I 我 which means I so and we have the next we have 不 which is not or don't not so we have not or we can have don't so we can have not or don't for this character. Now the next character we are going to have 会 which is know how to oh sorry we've not put how know how to then the next character that's for this character sorry 我 which is I and then 不 which is not 不 is a negation of present and future so 不 which means not or don't and we have 会 which is know how to and then we have 读 so we can change and we have this character 读 so permit me write it up here 读 which is read which is to read so this will be I don't know how to read so it's I don't know how so that's it I not know so this one you will not in this case we are not going to use this one it's this one that will go for the sentence so I don't know how to read and 我不会读 I don't know how to read 非常好很好 很好。我不会读，我不会读，非常好。好，继续。Now the next sentence we are going to see here will be, is still under 不会 the grammar point 不会不会很好很好不会不会 So for an illustration on how to write 不会 the sentence with 不会我 So I can change that to have a variety of, now I can put 不会 since we are trying to indicate the grammar point. 不会不会 this is a different character, this is a different 不会 and we have as next 错 错 needs to stand alone. 错 is alone. 错 and we have 中国 中国 here means China. 中国中国 which means China. 我不会错中国 China, and then we have 菜菜我不会错中国菜 So we can break down now this character. We can break down the character. 我 which is I. 我 which is I. And we have 不 which is not, as we saw in the previous example, or don't. 不 which is not or don't. And then the next character here is 会 which is know how to. Know how to. Know how to. And the next character here is 做 做 which is to make. To make. 中国中国中国 which is China. 中国 is China. And then we have the last character 菜 which is dish or food. Dish. A dish or food. So the whole sentence will be 我不会做中国菜 Now 中国菜 means China food, which is Chinese food, which is a Chinese food. China food, which is Chinese food. 做 which means to make. And now if you are making a food or if you are making a dish, means you are cooking Chinese food. So 会 which means know how to, and 不会 which means don't know how to. So we have I don't know how to cook Chinese food. 我不会做中国菜。我不会做中国菜。很好。I don't know how to cook Chinese food. 很好。I don't know how to cook Chinese food. 很好，很好，非常好。So that is a translation. 好，继续。So we are 你会写吗？你会写吗 ？For illustration, 你会写 xie, which is a different character and means a different thing. Xie. 你会写吗？你会写吗 which is a question particle. 你会写吗？你会写吗？你会写吗？你会写吗？很好 which is we can break it down. 你 which is you. 你 which means you. And we have 会 which means know how to. Know how to. Know how to. And then we have 写 which is 写 which is to write. To write. To write. So we have the next one, ma, which is a question particle. Question particle. Particle, the question particle. Particle. So we have 你会写吗 which is you know how to write, then question particle. So do you know how to write? So 你会写吗 do you know how to write? Remember, we have another expression to say write. You know how to write, right? You know how to write, right? So, but you can also use, do you know how to write? 你会写吗？你会写吗？ Do you know how to write? 你会写吗？很好，很好，非常好。好，继续。So, in our next phrase or next sentence, we are going to see 我不会写 that which is a response of 我不 So the last sentence, our last sentence will be 我不会写 which is 我 for illustration 我不会 So I'll write same character, same color because 不会 goes together. 写不会写我不会写我不会写 which is we have 不会写 which is 我 which is we have the character 我 which is I, and 不 which is not. Sorry, we can change the color by putting not or don't. And we have this character 会 which is know how. Know how to, which is know how to. So we have 我不会写 and 写 is right. 写 which means right. 很好，很好。So 我不会写 I don't know how to write. So that would be the translation. I don't know how to write. 我不会写，很好。So in the next grammar point, we are going to see 能 which indicate possibility, permission, 能 possibility. So in this grammar point, we saw 不会，我不会写。I don't know how to write. So, and the other one was 你会写吗？你会写吗？ And we know that 会 indicates to know how to. So, do you know how to write? 你会写吗？你会写吗？很好，很好。好，继续。So this is for a glance, as revision, a summary of all what we have seen. So we have, for this sentence, 我不会，我不会. Please master the way I pronounce the 不会，不会，我不会错，中国菜. You discover that this character is alone. 我不会 and 不会 goes together. That is in terms of pronunciation. In terms of pronunciation, 不会 goes together. 我不会错. So 错 is also alone. 错 is also a character which is pronounced alone. 错，中国菜，中国菜. So 中国菜 goes together. 中国菜 Chinese food. 中国菜很好. So 我不会做中国菜. I don't know how to cook Chinese food. 我不会做中国菜，很好，很好。好，继续。The next one that we made mention of was, let's use a green color for this. 我不会读，我不会读. So you discover that 我 is standing alone here. 我不会also goes together. 我不会读. So do, which is the word to read, goes also alone. 我不会读, which means I don't know how to read. I don't know how to read. 很好，很好。好，继续。你明白吗？好，我明白。Do you understand? Yes, I understand. 好，继续。Let's move on. So the next sentence here, we are doing a summary of all what we have done. So we have 我会. So 我 standing alone. 我会. So 会写 So we have here 写. So when I separate them, means they are standing alone. 我会写. That's they are not joined together. They have each a different meaning. They have each a different meaning. So 我会写汉字goes together. 汉字 which goes together. So we have 汉字, which is Chinese characters. Chinese characters. 汉字很好很好. So the complete sentence will be 我, which is I, 会, which means know how to, 写, which is to write, 汉字, which is Chinese character. So the translation of these sentence or of these characters would be I know how to write Chinese characters. 我会写汉字，我会写汉字。I know how to write Chinese characters. 很好，很好。好，继续。So for this sentence as a review, we are going to see我会做菜，我会做菜。So we can group this character in the form 我, which is I, 会, 会, which is know how to, know how to. 做菜, 做菜. These characters, I will group it together to mean cook. So this one means to make dish, to make a dish. To make a dish means to cook in general. So this one means 做菜. 我会做菜, which means to cook. So I know how to make a dish or I know how to cook. 很好，很好。我会做菜. I know how to make a dish or I know how to cook. So from here, I know how to make a dish, or you can say, I know how to cook. 很好，很好。好，继续。So the next, we are going to 我会做中国菜. So for demonstration, we have 我会做中国菜. 我会做中国菜. 很好，很好. So we have 我, which is I, 会, which is alone also, 会, 会, which is to know how to, 做, make. So we can use a different color for this to differentiate that. We are doing a summary. 做, which is to make. 中国菜, Chinese food. So in this section, I'm going to group this one, which we could use a different color for this. So for this one, I will use a blue, a light blue. For 做, which means to make, and for 中国菜, I'm going to use a green color for this, a light green. So to indicate the different, I will like put it, I will say this, it's not actually it, but I want to do what we call in English syllabification, but it's not actually the case, but I'm trying to distinguish, trying to separate the characters, how each character is pronounced and what it means in the sentence. So 我 means I, which is not separate, which is not joined with any other thing. And we have 会, which means know how to, and 做, which means to make, 做, which means to make. 中国菜, I decided to group 中国菜, which means Chinese food. 中国菜, 中国 by itself means China, and 菜 means food. So 中国菜 means Chinese food. 很好，很好. So I know how to cook Chinese food. So to make Chinese food is to cook Chinese food. 很好，很好。好，继续。So we can. So we have this sentence. We have this sentence. 我会做，我会做。So we can. 我会 so 我 which we can do as 我 which is standing alone, which means I. 会 which also a character which stands alone. 会 which means know how to. We've seen that character. And we have 做 which means to make. 做 which means to make. 做 which means to make. So 我会做 which means I know how to make, to do something. I know how to do it. I know how to do something. 我会做很好很好。好，继续。So the next sentence we are having here is 你妈妈会说你妈妈会说汉语吗？你妈妈会说汉语吗？很好，非常好。So for illustration, 你 which means you. We've seen the character before. I'm just there to separate, to do what we call syllabification. So the next one, mama, which means mother. Mama, which means mother. Mama. So mama, which means mother. And we have 会 which means can. In this case, can. 说 we can use different color for that. 说 to speak. So 你妈妈会说汉语 is a single character. It goes together. 汉语 which means Chinese language. Chinese language which means Chinese language. 汉语 which means Chinese language. Chinese language. 很好。So we have with the last character ma, which is a question word, a question particle, which is asking like, are you, like something like that. So we have, can your mom speak Chinese? 你妈妈会说汉语吗? So your mom can speak Chinese, right? Your mom can speak Chinese, right? 你妈妈会说汉语吗? Your mom can speak Chinese, right? Or you can say, can your mom speak Chinese? Can your mom speak Chinese? 很好，很好。So we move to the next thing. We can move to the next. So next we have 我会写 So we have 我 So we can use a different color for this. 我 which is I. We know that. 会 which is know how to. 会 which is know how to. Which can also be can. Yes. You can say, do you know how to write? Can you write? Hui. Yeah, we can use a different color for these. Hui. Hui, which means know how to or can. And then we have this character, xie, which means write. Xie, which means write. So, 我会写, 我会写, which means I know how to write. I know how to write. 很好，很好，好，继续。So, 我会写, which means I know how to write. So make sure you watch the video several times and make sure you review the previous lesson in order to fully understand Chinese grammar points. So we have taken our time to list most of the Chinese grammar points. Most of the Chinese grammar point. So I will advise you to go through the videos several times, and even this video, make sure you go through it several times so that you can easily understand, fully grasp the concept. So we have seen hui and pu hui. So in this grammar point, we have taken time to explain hui and pu hui. We have taken time to explain hui and pu hui. So make sure you get all these. And the last, which we are going to see in the previous grammar point, in the next grammar point, in the next grammar point, we are going to look at neng. This character is pronounced neng, which means can, in terms of possibility. Can I? That is it possible? Yes. Am I permitted? Neng. So in the next lesson, we are going to continue with grammar points. So this marks the end of our video. If you found this video useful, please support us by subscribing to our channel, hit the notification bell, give us a thumb up, and share the video to your friends and family. So for more information about Chinese language, English and French, don't forget to visit our website. Don't forget to visit our website. I will leave a link in the description. I will leave a link in the description where you can click on it and book for your language courses online. And we are going to prepare a tutor, a language tutor, to guide you throughout your course. So be it Chinese, English, or French, visit our website my.woki.net/language tutor. So in this website, you can book for an hour class, or you can book for a complete Chinese, English, or French lessons. So in the English, we do what we call TOEFL. We prepare candidate for TOEFL, IELTS, and HSK exams. So see you in the next lesson or in the next grammar point. 再见，我们下期个见。